Missing? Okay, there we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 1 of Project Morana. We have been waiting for so long. We're so excited. We hope that you all are as well, and we hope that you enjoyed that trailer. That this isn't the first time you've seen it. Just keep playing it on repeat. You know, it's over on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Roll4It. But before we get into the shenanigans of today, I do have some introductions and some stuff that we need to go through. So first and foremost, let's introduce everybody that's here because we have some new faces. Obviously, you've seen me and Katie and Shar a little bit, but we'll go around a little bit to let people know who folks are. And so I'll kick it over to our lovely GM who is just joining us. So if you can, make sure you give some roll love in chat to the Mind Right. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Why you GMing here, yo?
Hello, my name is Kelly. My pronouns are they, them. And as you said, I am the GM or keeper, as Call of Cthulhu calls it. So I think I'll keep you guys.
He says that now, but they might not think so later.
I pitched this spooky horror idea to Margaret, and you liked it enough to bring me on and trusted me enough to do this show, and I'm very excited and also terrified, as much as all of you should be as well.
Well, first victim up to be terrified, who enjoys being terrified, I'm pretty sure. Play, Katie, play. Tell us a little bit about you.
Is it everyone?
I know. I know all of us. I'm Katie Peters Plays. I'm really excited to do a horror show. And yeah, you know where you can find me on Twitch, Katie Peters Plays, Twitter, Play Katie Play. I love horror, and so this is right up my alley. And
I've watched Katie cry in space, so that's what you have to work towards.
I will make you cry in the woods.
Yes, make me cry in the woods. I'm ready.
Next up, we have Jeremy Cobb. Where can people find you at? What you doing here? Why are you excited?
Hello, everybody. My name's Jeremy Cobb. Pronouns he, him. I am excited because I have only guessed it on Roll It, I think once. Roll4It once so far, but I'm super excited. It was so much fun, and I've played with 3 of the people here, and it was an amazing time every single time we've done it. And I also love horror, and I love being scared. So I cannot wait. You can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Jeremy Cobb1. That is Cobb with 2 B's and the number 1.
It is also on the screen for your ease. And last but not least, my fellow autumn-loving lover, Shar, where can people find you at when you're not here?
I'm at Charlene Bayer on all social media, but I go by Shar, and I'm jazzed to be living up my horror life. I'm the general GM at Tabletop Titties, and the family there, although amazing, is scaredy cats. So coming over here to be given the fear, I am very hype about that. Very excited to be here again.
Yes, and speaking of the fear, there may be things that you might not enjoy, and if that is the case, you are welcome to step away. We understand. You don't have to stick around. You can come back for another episode or later in the show, whatever it may be for you. If we start delving into things that are not of your likings, we totally understand that. And you can just, do whatever you need to do for yourself. That's all that matters. Of course, we want to thank our sponsor, Roll20. Thank you, Roll20, for sponsoring today's episode. And if you would like to check out Roll20, we implore you to. If you're curious how we're doing our rolls, how we do our character sheets, and all of that jazz, that's all through Roll20. You can also do maps and lighting and card games and board games. Like, you can really do anything, and you can create any character sheets that you want. It's kind of a really awesome tool. So if you're looking for something or a way to play with your friends virtually, highly recommend. It has been of great use to us throughout the years here at Roll4It. And of course, we do have some merch, so if you are thinking about how to stay warm this holiday season, head on over to designbyhumans.com/shop/Roll4It, where you can get yourself a mug for hot cocoa or a sweater or shirt, whatever you need. You won't be naked, it's fine. And of course, we would like to thank our supporter today, Thunder Cabbage. Thank you so much, Thunder Cabbage, for being amazing and supporting us. We always appreciate it. And of course, if you would like to support us just like Thunder Cabbage, you can head on over to our Patreon and check out all the goodies. If you're Legend tier above, you get to play in a private GM'd game, which Kelly has been GMing. So you get to have Kelly as a GM for yourself. We don't get to hoard him for our own, even though we want to. But we also have our character sheets up there. And if you're a Legend tier above, you not only get to support an episode, you get to be in that privately GM'd game. And we have tons and tons of goodies over there. And so we definitely want you to check them out. And of course, we have Twitch, right here. You can head on over to Twitch, slap that sub button, and give us a sub, and you get access to cool emotes. And while you're here, you can only do this while you're live. So if you're watching us live, you can make clips, which we love, and we will use them for our social medias. So please and thank you. And also you can head on over to YouTube and watch and subscribe over there. If you are a YouTube member, you also get access to some of those emotes. And of course, following us in all the places, liking, sharing, retweeting, commenting, everything makes the algorithms go whir and people find us. So if you'd like us to continue making great stories, there are a lot of free ways to do that, and that is just sharing the love for what we do here, because we know not everyone can support us monetarily. And with that, you're probably sick of hearing me talk, so I'm going to hand it over to our wonderful GM. Kelly, take it away.
All right. So I know a lot of you are very anxious to get into it, so we're just going to get right into it. The date is Wednesday, January 4th, 2023. The time is 2:18 p.m. We see a car driving on a flat road. The sun fights through the winter clouds above. Snow is settled along the highway, flanking it with an empty expanse that seems to go on forever. For those of you who have driven from Calgary, Alberta to Edmonton, you know that this stretch of road never ends. You find yourself in a stasis until suddenly a city appears on the horizon. The car has been driving for that road for some time now, and there is a lone driver inside. Scarlett, would you like to describe your character for us?
Ooh, all right. Kicking off with me. You can see Scarlett, who kind of prefers to be called Carl these days, is more of a masculine presenting male with short, curly brown hair, light skin, and he has like a super long nose, similar to their mother's. They have gentle green almond-shaped eyes like their father, and they're in large framed glasses that are probably much too big for their face. Can't tell while they're seated, so they might look a little bit more taller, but if they were to stand up, they're about 5'4", with a very masculine build. But there's something awkward about the way that they hold themselves. Like they're kind of a little timid and slouched, and almost like they would rather be hidden than be in a crowd or in a vehicle that is surrounded by other vehicles. They wear baggy jeans with a large flannel shirt that's way too big, and like a white t-shirt underneath. And the only really defining thing about them that looks different than just a normal everyday person is that they have a watch on their wrist that's kind of very old looking, like it's some kind of heirloom or something that's been passed down.
And can you remind us, what car does Carl drive?
You know what? I wrote this down and now I'm looking. Oh, Carl drives a Tesla Model S with a custom teal wrap. So, yeah, actually pretty nice.
Well, it's gotten a bit dirty because the snow in this region has turned into sort of that mud snow on the side of the road that just gets all caught up in your car and stains it for the rest of the season.
I feel like Carl also tried to make sure that it was charged before they left, but
that's fair.
He might not have got it on the way, so hopefully it makes it.
It's all right. Edmonton is a pretty big city, so you'll probably be able to find a place to charge it when you go to pick up your mother, who was out of town and had to fly in to meet you. So she sort of made it halfway there, waiting for you to pick her up. the latest update to your Tesla has unfortunately broken the functionality to play any music, but the radio app still works. So much like any great horror story, you are in the middle of listening to the radio, an archaic means of audio for those of you who are listening who might have been born recently. On it is useful information. There's a news report going on right now, weather, that is talking about storm that is supposed to be coming in. And those of you who will be finding yourselves on the northern side of the Rockies should watch out, because the storm is supposed to be lasting a few days and road conditions might not be so great coming up. And as that plays, we're going to fade out. The date is Friday, December 16th, 2022. The time is 2:12 a.m. We see the door to Carl's apartment open as you walk in, coming off of a late shift. You're dressed in your hospital, what are they called?
Scrubs.
Scrubs. And your ID hangs from your neck, as well as a jacket. And as you walk into your home, can you please explain that or describe your home for us?
Yeah. I think Carl's home is almost like an unlived space, which feels kind of cold, actually. There's furniture there. There are things placed, but they almost seem like they're placed with purpose and certainty rather than like someone lives there. Carl spends most of their time at work. The only thing they really do at home is sleep. And it's kind of like a thing to keep them busy. The only thing that you might see that's a little different is there are some photographs that are kind of placed in frames or along tabletops. There's one that's like a digital one that like keeps turning with images of pictures. But something that you'll notice is that Carl looks quite different in those photos. Carl used to go by Scarlet and had a more feminine kind of look and vibe to them. And also the photos seem to stop once a certain person is no longer in those photos. In a lot of them, you see a family of 3. And after a certain time period, you start just seeing pictures of Carl in places, but there's no one else there. It's just Carl taking selfies in various different locations and pictures of places that they've been.
And does Carl live alone?
Yeah, Carl has a small apartment, so it's not anything big. It's just enough space to be able to cook a meal, sit and eat a meal by themselves, and sleep, watch a show.
Well, speaking of that, it is 2 in the morning and you are coming off a shift. So what would you like to do? Would you like to unwind or immediately go to sleep?
I think Carl opens up the fridge and there's nothing in the fridge other than a gallon of milk and what looks like a bunch of water bottles. And he pours some of the milk in a glass and then pulls open the freezer that's at the bottom. I know some people have freezers he's got a freezer at the bottom. He pulls the freezer out of the bottom and like gets one of those like family meals that you just like open up, pop in the microwave for 4 minutes, and just shoves it in there. And then in the meantime, kind of decompresses and changes their clothes. And kind of is like multitasking. Like while that's doing that, they're changing they're from their scrubs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a rough few years for Carl and his profession. Obviously, being 2022, things are still hectic in the hospital, especially during the winter times when the blend of COVID and normal flu has sort of mingled, and the hospital is rarely empty at this time. So, as much as your apartment seems alone and sort of cold to others, it's actually almost
it's like comforting to
calming.
Carl.
Yeah. It's quiet.
And quiet, yes.
Yeah. It's probably the first time that you've actually had quiet all day. considering you probably also went to work around 8 hours from now the previous day.
I feel like maybe
but-
Carl even took on extra hours to take on someone else's shift or something that happened and kind of helped out with that, because they really don't mind assisting wherever they can and keeping themselves busy.
So more for altruism than the extra money.
Yeah.
Good. Well, the beep of the microwave announces that your very simple meal is ready.
Yeah.
And
Goes over, opens it up, pulls it out, rips the cover off and stirs it a little, and I think maybe tries to eat it because they're really hungry, but burns their mouth a little and then realizes maybe they need to wait a second, and just kind of sits at the TV and starts the show and can sit and eat their hot meal.
well, the time is now 3:16 a.m. Your TV says, "Are you still watching?" And Carl is fast asleep on the couch. A vibrate comes from your coffee table, and a light illuminates on your phone that says "Unknown caller." It's just loud enough to wake you up as it bounces across the wood surface of your coffee table, and you kind of wake up a bit groggy to see your phone going off.
Carl shakes their head and goes to answer it. Hello? Hello?
Um, is this Mr. Wilson?
Yeah. Who am I
Um,
speaking to?
Sorry, my name is Liam. I believe
Liam?
you. Yeah,
Do I know a Liam? Out of character?
Not that you can recall, no.
You might have the wrong number.
Sorry,
I'm Carl
is this
Wilson. Are you looking for... There are a lot of people named Wilson.
not Andrew?
That's my... Andrew Wilson? That's my dad.
Oh, is he there?
No. He's not anywhere. He's somewhere. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. He's not alive anymore.
Oh, my my condolences. I was supposed to find an Andrew Wilson, and the closest name I could find in your city was yours. I thought maybe. Well, I saw Scarlet, and I thought maybe he'd transitioned or something, but I didn't think. My apologies. I think your dad might have known mine.
Who's your dad?
Benjamin Thorne. I might not. I don't know if your dad ever talked about him, but I was told to call a few of his friends and inform them that well, he's passed.
Benjamin passed?
Yeah, he had a list of names I was meant to find, but he didn't have many specifics about where. There's a will.
I see. I'm sorry about your loss.
You too.
Yeah, I've had a little time, I guess, to cope with it, if you could call it coping.
Well, I'm not quite there yet.
I have a list of numbers if you are looking for numbers to have someone to talk to.
Well,
Carl gets up and is like shuffling through some work documents and finds like some, grieving counseling numbers.
Thank you. I'm more in the needing to get stuff done. I don't really know what to do right. By any chance, there's another Wilson on here. By any chance, were they related?
Who's the other name you have?
It's either Mary or Maria. It's my dad's
Marie.
writing.
That's my mom. Yeah, they were married. My
Oh,
dad, and my mom. I mean, are they still? I don't know.
Actually, that works out pretty well. I found a writer by that name, but I wasn't too sure if that was.
Yeah, that's her.
Oh,
That's my mom. The
I
writer.
had to. I called her agent and I couldn't get through.
Well, if you forward me the information, I can make sure that she gets it.
Yeah. Is this a cell phone? I can text you the info.
Yeah, sure.
This might sound weird, and I I know I've messed up a lot of information. I swear this isn't a scam, but we're having we're having our own sort of will reading in January. We wanted to give people time to finish up the holiday. Is there any chance that you could, well, maybe your mother, and maybe you could make it?
I could see. I'll chat with my mom about it and see what she wants to do, and maybe I have to figure out work situation as well. But at the latest, if she needs to go, she'll make it. Maybe.
Well, it's January 5th. Town is Lake Morana. It's in Alberta. It's pretty small. Once you drive into town, you'll probably see most of us. So.
Yeah, I've heard of it before.
I'll try to be in touch.
All right.
My father, he spoke very highly of Andrew.
That means a lot. Did he say anything in particular?
He said just that he was the best of them. I didn't really know he wasn't really here when he was here in the end, so.
Sorry, man.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thanks.
When my dad was here, he was awesome. And I guess similarly, towards the end, it was a little hard. He wasn't always himself. He was going through chemo, so.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, it's late. I should probably let you go.
Yeah, if you need someone else to talk to, just let me know and forward me that information. I'll get it to my mom.
All right. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
And you hear the click as Liam hangs up. And about 10 minutes later, you get a ding on your phone that shows a location of a town on the most north of the Rockies that you could get while still technically being in Alberta. About 4.5 hours drive from Edmonton, depending on the weather.
Does it look like it's near where my mom and dad went to school and stuff, or is it like different?
No, they went to school in Vancouver, which is on the coast. This is, to be honest, you've never heard of this town before.
Okay. It's like maybe he thought he did, but but now looking at it is like, oh, this is a different lake than where I had gone before. There are a lot of lakes.
There are a lot. Yeah.
I don't think that Carl is going to call their mother so late. It's very late right now. But they will call in the morning, probably first thing in the morning.
Speaking of your mother, the date is Wednesday, January 4th, 2023. The time is now 4:35 p.m. The sun has gone down, and long shadows from the trees cross the road. Sorry, the sun is going down. Your mother is asleep in the passenger seat next to you. A small lump of clothes, tired from the jet lag. The radio is still playing. This is Clive Peel coming at you here on KTAW, The Shape. And we're bouncing our singles all over the mountain to bring you the best music from the 80s, 90s, aughts, and now. Coming up next is Teal with Forgotten Days, Never Forgotten. And as a popular indie rock song comes on the radio, we pull back out. The date is Saturday, December 17th, 2022. The time is 2:20 a.m. Laura, would you like to describe not only yourself, but the apartment that you find yourself in right now?
Laura is busily working around, just kind of cleaning up piles around her apartment. Just stacks of paper, kind of not really putting them away, maybe just straightening them from little clusters. But her apartment is very small. It is in uptown Seattle. It is an older apartment building, and it's kind of one of those buildings where there's like an old dive bar in the basement or in the ground floor, and then there's apartments above it. And it's not inexpensive to live here, but the apartment looks very much like an upgraded college dorm. There's framed vinyls on the wall, framed promo posters for bands. You can see the Space Needle from her window. It costs a lot to live here, and it's not the nicest place, but it's her home. Where a TV might be, there is a record player. There's a big white couch. There's blankets everywhere, so you could like reach in any direction, have a blanket to put on yourself. It's very clean, and it's almost too clean, almost like someone who might tidy a little too much, but it's comfortable. She has an espresso machine on the counter with all the little gadgets to make a perfect cup of espresso. She's got nice coffee beans and like a light, medium, and dark roast all lined up and labeled perfectly. And the best way to put it, it's a small place, but it's her safe space. It's 2 bedrooms, it's 1 bath, an open living dining room, kitchen area. And it's nothing special, but it's her special. And I guess I should explain Laura. Yeah. Laura is in her 50s. I guess that's an important piece of the apartment as well. So Laura's 50. She has her hair dyed brown. It probably would not be brown had she not dyed it. It's pulled back into a claw clip, one that she probably has used over and over and still hasn't broken. She always has sunglasses on top of her head, even though it probably isn't the time of day all the time that she should have sunglasses on the top of her head. She's glued to her cell phone. It's always in one of her hands. It's a comfort, kind of like a blanket you can take with you and you can scroll on. She's wearing something that might be considered vintage now. It's an early 2000s corduroy jacket with a white hoodie underneath. And she looks pretty good for her 50s. Maybe she's had a little work done. Maybe she's had a little Botox, a little this, little that, just to kind of keep her face fresh, or also maybe fighting the fact that she's getting older a little bit. She's pretty slender, has an hourglass figure. She's wearing dark, skinny jeans with some fraying in it, big chunky boots. It seems like, in a way, she's a little dressed up for her.
Well, as you tidy up, you can hear the telltale signs of 20-somethings partying in the bar downstairs. It is probably about 15 below right now, but most of them are still in t-shirts and short dresses. And a probably at this point annoyingly familiar song is playing loud on the speakers as Teal, Forgotten Days Never Forgotten, is playing once more. But the sort of drone of that song and the cheers is interrupted by a soft ding on your phone.
Immediately, it's in my pocket, it's in my hand, it's open. I'm looking at whatever notification I just got.
You see one text, and it says "Storm bored."
I swipe it open immediately, and like a smile comes up on my face immediately. Just my cheeks blush a little bit, and I start to type out, "I miss you." And then my thumb hovers over the send button. And I quickly delete it. And I say, "How can you be bored? You're a rock star." And I send the text.
A few seconds pass, and you see a text pop up that says, "Rock stars shouldn't be doing tours. Nobody in Europe seems to know what rock is. It's all lip syncing TikTok tweens. I'm so out of place."
I just like the rhythm of my hands on the texting board. What is it called? Keyboard. I type out, "Things have changed since when we were young. It's not the grittiness that we're used to, but at least some of them might dance to your music on a computer we carry everywhere." And I send it.
You see a quick text that just says "ugh," and then another one that says, "Is it too late to die tragically young?"
I smile, I laugh, because we're in our 50s at this point. And I thoughtfully type out, "You're still young to me. And we can die young at heart."
You get a few dots, and then a couple more dots, and then a file is sent. And you can see the smiling, if just leathery face of Storm, hair matted and kind of like a nest going down to his shoulders. But he is smiling happily, holding what appears to be a half-drunk pint to the camera, and says, "It's 10 a.m. and I'm drinking a pint, so at least London's got that." And you're, let me guess, working?
Immediately, it's like a pang in your heart when you see someone you care about, but then just tries to like quickly stifle it down. And if you look over Laura's shoulder, you're going to see on the wall like pictures of her and Storm from over the years, like from when we were way younger. And there's a knowing look in their eyes of a couple in love. But then you can see the transition over the years of it's just them hanging out. And when she sees this picture, there's a callback to just of yearning, of wanting to say, "I miss you." And just staring at the picture, saves it to her phone, and then types back, "Of course I'm working. Teal has a tour coming up and they're doing very well. And there's just always something to do. But I'll drink a pint later for you."
Your tension is almost broken when the next file that's sent is a empty chair across from Storm, who says, "I don't know how long it takes to fly to London. I was kind of passed out the whole time, but if you can make it here, I'll have a pint ready."
I look at another notification from my calendar pop up. And there's like a knowing in the back of my head of I'm making choices for my to-do list, but using it as an excuse to not put myself out there. And there's like this momentary, like, do I do it? Do I finally do this? And instead I avoid it and I say, when are you going to come back? When are you coming back in town?
As you send that, there's no reply for a bit. The time is now 3:16 a.m. You've been texting for nearly an hour. And as you stare, waiting for a reply, your phone starts to ring. Unknown caller.
There's an anxiety that fills me. I don't like unknown callers. I know sometimes they're calls I don't want to get, and sometimes they're calls that have important information on the other end. So I reluctantly answer. Hello?
Hi, is this Miss Flowers?
Yes, this is she.
Just to be clear, I've made a mistake. I've made a mistake before. Sorry. This is Laura Flowers.
Yes. How did you get my number? Who is this?
You're one of your associates gave it to me. I believe that you might have known my father.
Is this a scam? Are you trying to like get my credit card information? Are you trying to call me about my car's extended warranty?
No. Sorry, I should probably clarify. My father's name is Benjamin Thorne. And you would know that name immediately. He passed.
How would Laura know that? Like know of Benjamin?
He was a friend of yours in college.
Benjamin? Passed?
Yeah. Sorry, my name's Liam Thorne. I'm his son. He left a will, and I was meant to call a few people. He spoke very fondly of you. He mentioned that of all the people that he lost contact with, you were the one that he sort of regretted the most. There's a will. Sorry,
What?
I should have started with that.
No, do you mind me asking how he passed?
Flu. He was old.
Old? He's my age. Right?
He got sick, and the flu took him. He seemed older than he actually was. We sort of live in a pretty isolated town. We don't have very good doctors. I'm sorry.
My condolences. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thanks. It would actually it would mean a lot. We're actually having a more personal will reading in January to sort of give people time to spend the holidays with their families. I know you're probably going to be busy in that regard, but if you're able to come, we're aiming for January 5th.
I'm in your father's will?
Yeah. It was Laura Flowers. Sorry, I don't actually think I'm supposed to say the other names.
Yeah, I'll look at my calendar and see. Where are you having this will reading?
It's in a town called Lake Morana in Alberta. Have you heard of it?
Yes, I have.
Perfect. Well, if if you show up, it's a pretty small town, so you'll probably get spotted right away. Everyone here really excited to meet Laura Flowers. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit fanboy.
There's nothing special about me.
Oh, you're serious?
Yes, I'm gonna like pull my phone down. I'm looking at my calendar. And probably too easy, I make a decision that I'm going to go. The decision that should have been easy is going to London to see Storm, but instead this is what is an immediate yes. I just like clear my calendar. I'll be there.
Great. If you need any information, this number's cell phone. You can just text it, and I'll get back to you.
Will you send me addresses? Anything important? Will you send it to me?
Of course. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get everything sorted, and there's a lot.
Have you gotten any sleep? It's middle of the night.
I'm kind of a night owl.
Me too.
Well,
I suppose I'll be seeing you in the next few days.
Yeah, I'll let you get back to work.
Yeah, but again, I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you. And he hangs up.
As soon as he hangs up, I am on investigative mode. I'm like looking up obituaries. I'm looking up anything I can about Benjamin's death.
And as we see you do that, your phone sits idly on your desk, collecting texts from Storm. I think a roll might actually be good if you wish to investigate. Hey,
yes.
Look, we're
Okay.
nearly an hour in, and we're doing our first roll.
First roll. First roll.
First roll.
Only took an hour.
I'll go ahead. We'll make this a computer use check.
Okay.
So for those of you at home who don't know, each of the players have a stat that is a percentage between 0 and 100. And when they roll, they are rolling percentile dice. And they are trying to aim underneath their stat. And the more
So if your stat
underneath
is higher, that's better for you. If it's
Yes.
lower, you have a smaller window.
It's a game where we're looking for low rolls.
This is also when it's
And-
really good to have Roll20 with digital dice, because I never know how to roll.
Math, adding the math. Yeah, it's so hard.
Okay, so you want me just to roll computer use?
Just click that computer use.
I'm scared.
It's just that easy.
It didn't work.
Oh no. Okay, I gotta put the creepy music back on. I had to turn it off because I was like, Kelly trying to describe the rules with that creepy, intense music. I was like, this is a lot.
I think despite your need to stay up and research this, the time of night is actually affecting you more than you thought. You go back, scrolling through old pictures, trying to get back to your college years to remember Benjamin Thorne and try to branch off from there. But as you do, almost this nostalgic pain washes over you as you watch your life in reverse, scrolling through these pictures, seeing yourself become younger and younger. Eventually, you get to about your 30s and you become exhausted, and what started as an investigation quickly turned into almost self-punishment. And you have the option to go to sleep, knowing that you've gone too far.
Yeah, I think it's a spiral at that point. It's just, like you said, going in reverse and seeing what feels like wasted years. Probably people who are not in my life anymore, people who I wish were still in my life. It just turns into, hey, I need to go to sleep to forget this. And I look at the text from Storm, but I leave the notifications up so that I can reply when I wake up. So I have something to look forward to when I wake up.
The last message that you can see is, well, I guess you died tragically young. I gotta head out. Talk to you later.
And it's enough to make me have like a small, slight chuckle and a one pause, like a little bit to snap me out of it right before I close my eyes so I don't dream of a past that maybe never was.
The mocking sounds of the young, happy people below you lull you back to sleep. The date is Wednesday, January 4th, 2023. The time is now 6:56 p.m. Carl's car is stopped in a gas station. They are standing next to a gas pump, filling it. I had to specifically check if this model of Tesla was a hybrid, because this scene wouldn't have made sense if it was fully electric. And when you said you didn't charge, I got nervous. But nevertheless,
I did get the fancy one because I was like, well, we do have a lot of money. That's something that Shar constantly said. But I feel like Carl's not the type of person who's gonna buy the fancy stuff unless like it's functional, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, you're filling it up with gas as your mom is in the actual gas station itself buying snacks. The light above you flickers and a chill wind blows right through you. As you drive closer and closer to the mountains, the ambient sounds of the woods grows dimmer, and you're left with nothing but the wind and the click, 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 click of the gas pump. The light above you burns out. The date is Sunday, December 18th, 2022. The time is 3:30 a.m. Nate, would you please describe your apartment and what you look like?
So, the apartment of Naftali Nate Freeman. It is a very small basement apartment filled with memorabilia, hockey memorabilia from Nate's playing days, going all the way back to his days in Pee Wee hockey. You can see all these photos of small child Nate with like a big grin on his face, real skinny kid, just consistently taller than all the other kids in the photos, but like weirdly long neck just sticking out over these big old hockey pads, just and over the years the smile fades to become the grim stare of an adolescent hockey player, because you can't smile in sports photos. You have to look tough and masculine, and that is what Nate did over time. As with each successive photo, you can see Nate filling out, getting bigger and bigger, still taller than all the other kids, his face getting more and more serious, his countenance increasingly scary. He looks like the kind of character that you would not want to mess with, at the very least not on the ice. And these photos sort of end around when you would guess Nate was in college. It looks like you can see that he's wearing the uniform of the UBC Thunderbirds, lined up alongside his fellow hockey players. Even among them, he is on the taller side, the taller and more, and just generally larger side. And I think the only real emotion that you see in that last photo is of Nate, not still with the same grim expression, but this time with his arm around another individual, one of his fellow players, both staring grimly at the camera. There are also posters of various hockey movies, most prominently the Paul Newman movie Slapshot. Nate is a big Paul Newman fan, and the apartment itself, other than that, and like there are a number of ribbons, trophies, there are no recent all the items here look like they're at least maybe 30 years old or thereabouts. The most recent photos are actually framed programs from the funerals of Nate's parents. But Nate's apartment, pretty minimally furnished. He's got a little couch, a very basic TV. It's nothing fancy. As of right now, I think at this time, Nate would usually be asleep. Well, what day of the week is it? Let me ask this because I know it's December 18th.
Sunday.
1:30
a.m.
Then Nate would have gone to sleep because he has work tomorrow. Nate is, even lying down, you can tell, a massive man. Easily 6'5", maybe a little taller. His body no longer has the muscular athleticism of his youth. He has put on a lot of weight and has really just kind of let himself go. But even with that being true, he is still intimidatingly large. Very thick arms and legs that show you that even if he doesn't work out now, he used to. And he is still a very strong guy. If Nate were to stand, then you would see that he is surprisingly light on his feet for someone of his build. He's surprisingly nimble, but the way that he holds himself is as though his body is embarrassed by the amount of damage it could cause. And there's sort of a sort of turned inwardness to his gait. And I guess I'll get more into it when he actually wakes up. But as of right now, Nate is conked out. I think he's getting ready for a day of coaching starting on Monday. Probably one of the last weeks before school lets out for Christmas.
And as you lie there, the street light from outside sort of shines in through your blinds in the basement and sort of creates that classic bar shadow across Nate's body. And you lie there somewhat peacefully. The night passes uneventfully. And you're actually woken up by the sun shining in brightly through the curtains and the sound of a shower running. As you sort of open your eyes, you can see that your apartment is clean and well decorated. Tasteful paintings that you don't actually remember buying have been hung up around the room. You see yourself on one of those really stylish beds that's almost like a pale wood base with a bed on top of it, and it almost looks like it's hovering. And you have a tasteful side table with your phone charging on one of those chargers that you just have to place it. The walls are clean and nice, but you actually see that the room extends far further than you remember. And it looks as if you're in some sort of like high-end apartment that you would get downtown for very successful people. And as you look around, the shower stops.
Hello? Excuse me? Hello?
One sec, I'll be right out.
Well, I'm sorry. Did I sleep here? I'm sorry. I don't think I'm in the right apartment. This is where am I?
For a couple minutes, a handsome, fit, tan man walks out, a towel wrapped around his waist, and he's drying his short hair with another towel, and he sort of leans up against the door frame with a concerned look on his face. Do you have one of those nightmares again?
Nate is now, I think, visibly starting to beat up and sweat, and looks at this man and is like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Wait, my name's Nate Freeman. I stand up. What is my physicality like right now? Do I have the same build?
You look down and you are chiseled. Your pecs are large and firm. Your abs are indented beyond recognition. You look at your arms and you can't sense any degree of water in them. You look dehydrated and amazing. And you look at the man who goes from this like concerned look to like sort of this cheeky expression as you realize that you are completely naked. And he says, "Oh well, I was letting you sleep in. You told me that you wanted to wake up early for your interview, but maybe I should have joined you."
Wow. I'm just gonna like walk up to the guy and just like reach out and just poke a peck.
He like looks down and laughs. Yeah. I guess that's a compliment.
You look amazing.
Kind of, you can see him like immediately start to blush, and he says, "What? I just got out of the shower."
Yeah. Wow, you smell great too. I'm sorry, what is your name?
Are we doing like a one night stand fantasy thing?
I think Nate thinks deep, like for a moment, and is like, "Okay, that was the wrong thing to say."
It's Henry.
Yes.
I thought I told you at the bar.
No, I'm just joking. It's a little bit of what are the kids calling it? Role play. That was, yeah.
Okay, weirdo.
Is this my apartment?
We're both on the lease. Okay.
I think there's like a moment, Nate, from the moment that he noticed how he was standing, or noticed what he looked like, his whole posture has changed. I think Nate is like instinctively, upon hearing that, Nate is not an impulsive person. He is a person who has been living his life almost as though he is, for the past however many years, almost as though he is a ghost who is just inhabiting this place. And I think seeing this at this moment, there's just an impulse that rises inside of him that he just goes for it. He's going to kiss this dude. He's just going to jump forward and kiss the dude right on the mouth.
And as you do, you sort of push him, not used to the strength that you now still hold, into the bathroom as we see the towel drop to the ground. A bit of time passes, and we see him sort of like stretch now. Well, that was certainly a good way to wake up.
That was amazing.
Oh shit. Your interview. You've got like 5 minutes.
Interview. Yeah. Where was it? Where did I say that was?
It's on Zoom. You got what's
Okay. I'm just going to throw on a shirt. I open my closet. What kind of shirts do I see?
What style has Nate always wanted to pull off, but has never really felt like he could?
Nate has for a long time. I think the only TV that Nate really watches is probably ESPN. And for a long time, he has wanted to dress like one of the ESPN sportscasters. So I think there are a lot of dress shirts, a lot of ties, a lot of suits, like sports jackets. And then I think he was watching some like press conferences, especially with NBA players. So there's some like weirdly flashy stuff in there. Some bow ties, like brightly colored bow ties. Some of the shirts are kind of off kilter stylistically. So I think there's like a moment of like, Nate's just gonna reach in, grab the brightest shirt he can, throw it on for a moment, I think be distracted by his own reflection and be like, wow, like, throw on a tie, run over and be like, he's gonna look for do I see a computer?
You see a very nice computer. And now that you walk out of the bedroom, you notice that you are in a lavish apartment. It is sort of this long open concept where as soon as you leave, there's a island next to you that sort of opens into the open concept kitchen, and there's a nothing but windowed wall along the right side. And as you look out, you can see city as far as you look, and it appears to be New York.
I think Nate was moving towards the laptop and seeing that and realizing where he is, and just thinking of what just happened. I think Nate freezes and just stands there, and I think his eyes start to look kind of a little glassy as he's just staring in awe, mesmerized.
And you feel hands sort of rest on your shoulder as a head rests on the other one and says, yeah, it never gets old, does it?
I'm gonna rest my head against his head and say, it's like it's brand new.
All right,
the call. The call.
And he points over, and there's a desktop set up, and the way that it is the desktop is facing out to the window, so that while you're sitting looking at your screen, you can also just see the skyline of New York.
Nate is going to turn. Sit down. He's going to take a moment to try and figure out how to even turn this thing on, because I don't even think he's seen a desktop this nice before. But it's going to take him a second. He's going to turn it on, look through the computer, find Zoom. He's going to turn to his partner and say, how do I look?
I got some FF air, but it's been more in the back, so.
Oh.
I'll get you some water.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I'm gonna click on Zoom, and then Nate has no idea what's happening, but he is loving it. This is the happiest day in years that he has had, as he clicks on Zoom, with his hands rubbing his thighs, realizing he didn't even put on pants. He's just like, whew. Will not
you
stand
see
up.
a scheduled meeting with Sports Zone with Taz and John podcast.
Nate's mouth goes dry.
You have
Zoom loads
1
up.
minute, just as a glass of water is put down next to you on the counter or on the desktop.
Nate chugs it, slams it down, looks up. Thank you so much. Can I get one more quick kiss?
Of course. And Henry walks away. As you join, it takes a sec, but two classic sports fans, they're wearing jerseys. They've got posters behind them. It looks like their setup is one desktop with them on each side, and they've just decorated this room out with trophies and hockey sticks and footballs and stuff. And they're super nice and charismatic, and their producer comes on to sort of give you the idea of they're going to be recording you, and then they're going to put it into the podcast later, and the rest of the podcast will be recorded. So the interview with you is just going to be done now, and everything else is going to be done later.
Sure, of course.
And Taz and John say, "Oh, it's great to have you on. Isn't that right, John? Oh yeah, we've been trying to get you for a while, but you're just so busy, man."
Am I? Wow, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
It's such a pleasure to be here, I gotta tell you. I've been a fan for years.
Save it for the show, man. Come on, let's go. All right. Welcome to Sports Zone with Taz and John. We're coming at you with another legendary interview. Today, we got and they sort of stop. Sorry, it was Nate. What was your last name again?
Nate Freeman.
Right. We got legendary Nate Freeman, the left defense for the... Man, what are you doing here? Yeah, John, I don't know what... Come on. You didn't think this was real, man. This is a joke.
What?
Oh, the subreddit. We brought you on as a joke, man. Wait. Look at your apartment, man. You're like fucking. What, you think you're some sort of big celebrity, man? You're a hack. What makes you think that you belong here?
I don't understand. I thought I had the appointment. You invited me on the my name's Nate Freeman. I play left tackle. Or sorry, not left tackle. Sorry, left defense.
Doesn't even know his own fucking sport, man. All right.
Nate is discombobulated right now. Does the apartment still look nice as I'm looking around it?
Yeah, but I'm gonna need you to go ahead and roll power for me.
Okay. All right. That is, let's see, 43, I believe, versus 35. So a
Dude,
failure.
You peaked in fucking college, man. You couldn't even make it out of Vancouver, man. Do you know how bad the fucking Canucks are, bro? Come on. Listen, you can sit there with your fancy shit and your dreams and your hot ass husband all you want, but at the end of the day, you're nothing, man.
Henry. Henry.
No reply.
If you could excuse me, I go to stand fully up. I
Your
try to
headphones
close
get
the.
yanked as your crotch is shut. Our producer is telling us that Nate is fully naked and having some sort of panic attack.
I grab the screen and instinctively, because Nate only has a laptop, has only ever had laptops in his regular life. I'm going to try and close the desktop, by which I mean just push the monitor down onto the keyboard.
As you do, you see the image of New York sort of peel a bit off the windows, and the lights sort of dim.
Can I push? I'm gonna try and push it back up to be like as if it's like wallpaper sliding down. I'm gonna try. No.
You do, and more slips around you. The lights start to flicker.
Henry, help me! Help! The city's leaving. The city. I don't. Henry.
You hear a phone ringing. As you suddenly awake in your apartment.
I think as Nate awakes, his eyes are filled with tears. And he just okay, hold on. Go over to the phone.
The time is 3:16 a.m. An unknown caller.
Hello.
Is this Mr. Freeman?
Yes. May I ask who's calling? It's 3:16 in the morning.
I'm sorry. I know you probably have to wake up early, but this is the only time that I can make these calls. My father was a friend of yours in college, Benjamin Thorne. He passed, and his will told me to call you.
What is... I assume that I recognize the name Benjamin Thorne, right?
You do.
Do I have a specific emotion upon hearing that name?
Disbelief?
Benjamin? You're Benjamin's kid?
Yeah.
Benjamin had a child?
Evidently. I'm sorry,
Sorry, you said I'm on the will? So this is Nate Freeman. I knew Benjamin Thorne. You said I'm in Benjamin's will?
Yeah, it's... How do I explain? It's not a official will. My father was eclectic. I'm sort of piecing together a lot of stuff while I'm here. I'm sorry if this seems confusing. Your name, as well as a few other people, has been mentioned as well. I'm supposed to contact you, and I don't want this to be a factor, but there's a lot here, Mr. Freeman, and it seemed like my father really wanted to make sure that his friends were taken care of after his passing.
How did he die?
It was a sickness. He's been really weak lately, and well, the winters were pretty tough, and he got the flu, and he didn't make it long.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You'll have to excuse me. I'm a little groggy. I had the strangest dream.
Yeah, I've been having some strange dreams lately too. I understand.
Yeah. Okay. I'm in the will. Is there money? Did he leave me something? Did he bequeath? Is the word?
How do I say this? Listen, I want to make sure that you were really like a friend of his, right? It's not just my dad and his dying mind writing down old names he remembered.
Do I think of myself? This won't necessarily affect my answer, but it will affect how I think about the answer. Do I think of myself as a friend of Benjamin?
I have a counter question for you.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell that Liam is dodging the question because there's probably a lot of money. Would Nate consider himself a friend because there's a lot of money?
Yes. I think Nate, regardless of whether or not Nate thought of himself as a friend of Benjamin back in the day, the fact that there might be a lot of money involved, the answer is yes.
Well, there's your answer.
Yes. I was, your father and I were close. We were close. Yes.
Okay.
This is very sad news to hear about his passing. I'm so sorry to hear he got sick like that. You must be having a terrible time. I'm so sorry to you and your family, your mother.
Well, yeah, it's been pretty rough. Like I said, I'm sort of in get everything done mode right now, but there's a lot to do. He left. Well, I think you're all going to be pretty okay. Anyways, we're letting people have a chance to be with family during the holidays. We're having a sort of private reading January 5th. If you could make it, it'll probably be worth your time.
Oh yeah, where is it?
It's in a town called Lake Morana. It's in Alberta. I can send you info if you need.
Yes, that would be great. Yes. I don't know if I would have heard of Lake Morana unless maybe is it known for good skating? That'd probably be the only way I'd have heard of it.
No, doesn't come to mind.
Yes, please, Lake Morana. Yes, could you spell that? And I start trying to find something to write with.
Lake, as it would be spelled.
Right.
Morana.
Okay. Yeah. All right. You know what? Send me whatever information you need. When I have school tomorrow, well, today, when I go in, I'm gonna go to the library. I'm gonna use the Google, and I will Google Lake Morana, and I will find it. But yes, any other information? Do I need to bring ID or anything?
Driver's license? You're gonna
Okay.
have to drive.
Right. Yes. Yes. I have a Subaru.
Just get silent.
Okay,
All right, well-
I'm sorry. I'm a little out of sorts. I gotta get back to sleep because I got work tomorrow at the school. It was the last week before Christmas. The kids are out of control. And you know, this time of year we always have injuries because of the ice and everything. We take all the kids out on the ice. So I thank you so much. You said your name was Liam.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll let you get back to sleep. Sweet
Yeah.
dreams, Mr. Freeman.
Thank you. And yeah, sweet dreams. Thank you. And I'm sorry for your loss, Liam, and sweet dreams to you as well.
And he hangs up.
Nate is such whiplash in this moment. I think after this, he looks down at himself, and he's wearing essentially very loose boxers and a tank top, a white tank top. And it's kind of stained. Like, this thing's old. He probably used to work out in this thing. And he looks around the room and settles on that last college photo by his bed of the team and him with his arm around another guy, and he looks at it, and the guy is different from Henry. And I think as he looks at it, he's like, it's almost like he's remembering Henry, and Henry's face morphs into the face of the fellow student that he has his arm around. And I think he gives a thoughtful nod as he sits back on the bed and tries to go back to sleep.
And sleep eventually does come. The date is Wednesday, January 4th, 2023. The time is 8 p.m. Carl, you've been driving on the road for some time now. Darkness has completely set, and all you're able to see through your headlights are road, trees, and snow. Occasionally a semi will pass, but beyond that, you are alone as your mother wakes up. The date is Monday, December 19th, 2022. The time, 3:24 p.m. Carl, you and your mother are in your mother's home. Mary, would you like to describe yourself and the home?
It is, well, she's got a red bob, dark wine-colored glasses that are quite big for her small face. She herself is very short, but quite big and curvy. She has an air about her of always performing, but she wears an oversized sweater that she tends to hide in. And the home is quite big. It's the floor, an entire floor of an apartment building. High ceilings, stonework, a kitchen that's in every WASP mom's dream magazine. But the most used area of this home would definitely be the writing room. It's dark, has sort of like gothic brown wallpaper on every side, a desk, and just a simple laptop. No distractions in this room. One window, big velvet curtains. And the other room of the house that would really matter to her is her kid's room, though he doesn't really use it much.
You haven't told your mother about the phone call yet. And this has been the first time that you've been able to get a hold of her since that night. And you've decided that today is the day that you'll tell them.
How's work going, my little healer?
Yeah, it's going all right, Mom. Busy.
Busy?
Yeah, it's...
Hectic?
We're
You
understaffed.
can always
and
take a break and come with me, and I just talk over Carl. I would love to have you, always.
What exactly would I do?
Oh, come with me. The book signings, people would love to see the inspiration for Jane. Whispers in the Dark would be nothing without her. And the other thing you notice in the home is like a large bookshelf with many copies of the same installations of a single novel series, Whispers in the Dark.
But what about the hospital? I can't just leave.
Can manage without you, no?
I actually just took on extra shifts last night even.
Or do you need some money? Oh, just tell me. Of course, no problem.
It's not about the money, Mom. I know. It's about helping people.
Yes. Well, that is meaningful work, of course. I mean, it's the winter. It must be... Are you sick? You look a little sick.
I'm not
Do you need
sick,
some tea?
Mom. I'm not sick. I'm fine. I'm just tired.
Well, have a seat. Kick your feet up. What's mine is yours, of course. What is it you needed? Why
I
did
wanted
you
to
call?
talk to you about something. Do you know a Benjamin Thorne?
No.
Can I tell if my mom's lying or not?
I'll leave that up to you. Char, do you think that Carl can read their mother at this point?
Yeah. Definitely a lie.
Okay. No, I'm serious.
Benjamin Thorne.
Come on, you're
fan,
never a
another
person
writer?
to forget a name. You remember like 300 characters in your books.
Why do you ask?
Because their son called. Liam?
A son.
Yeah. He said that Benjamin died.
She doesn't answer.
I don't know the details. I didn't ask. It kind of just froze a little bit, I think. But that's not the part that I wanted. I mean, I wanted to share that with you, but he said that you were in Benjamin's will.
What?
Yeah, apparently they're doing a reading, I think January 5th or something like that. He wanted you to go there.
Well,
To some place called Lake Morana. I thought it was the other lake that we went with Dad to go fishing, but it's a different one.
Lake Morana. I don't think I know that.
I don't know, I looked it up.
Are you sure this isn't some prank? You did your due diligence about this.
Gonna be honest, not really.
Carl, they could just be calling you to get to me. You have no idea what my fans will be doing.
They didn't seem like they were your fan. They seemed like they were distraught. And I guess I kind of understand how they feel losing their father, you know? It felt real. But you're right. They might be, I don't know. Maybe we look it up. I did look up to see if there was a Benjamin Thorne, and
Yes, I went to school with him. Your dad and I did. I'm just shocked that, and you notice that as she's talking, that sort of like performance vibe sort of fades slightly. And this rarely happens when you talk to your mom. I wasn't close with him.
Then why would you be in their will?
I don't know.
They said
Maybe we should have Barney look him up.
sure, if you want. They seem like they had said a lot of nice things about Dad.
Well, I mean, everyone loved him.
Yeah, that's what everyone says.
I trust you, and you think this is real.
I think so. I mean, I didn't feel like it wasn't from the phone call, but if something is off, we can just leave, right?
True. Well,
he said it
depending on how
had a
out of
list
the
of
way
other
this
names.
lake is.
What?
Sorry, a list of other names?
Yeah, he said he had a list of other names. He didn't give me the list. So I don't know if maybe you know other people who knew Benjamin. I just didn't want you to expect that you'd be the only one on this will, because apparently there's others.
Well, I can't see why I'm on it. Maybe it's a school thing. Everyone's on it.
Maybe he had you on it because you're like a famous writer or something, hoping to have you at his funeral. I don't know. People are weird.
People are weird.
I mean, I'm weird too, but
You're not weird. You're whimsical.
the epitome of weird, Mom.
You're beautiful.
You say that because you created me.
Don't you forget it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna call my assistant.
You dial, and almost immediately, yes, Mary, I'm here.
Look up a Benjamin Thorne. Find out anything you can about him.
Right, sure
What
thing.
was the kid's name? I asked Carl.
Liam. His name is Liam.
And Liam Thorne, same name.
Do you have anything else to go on?
Just do
country
it, Barney. Thank you. And I hang up.
Of course.
He'll text me.
Will you reply to him?
I always reply. It just takes me a little bit. I'm very busy. Should we order
Yeah.
some food?
Sure.
What do you want? Thai? Italian?
Whatever you want, Mom.
Oh, you're here to visit. Let's make it special.
Fine. Thai food sounds good.
Thai it is.
As you say that, the date is Wednesday, January 4th, 2023. The time is 8:21 p.m. What snacks is Mary eating in the passenger seat?
Marie has flaming hot Cheetos. Her fingers are like coated in it. And they've also got, they're on snack duty in the car. So she'd have a bag of whatever Carl's favorite snack is as well.
Carl likes beef jerky.
Savory family.
You look over, and Carl is laser focused on the road, eyes sort of squinting against the darkness. And they haven't noticed that you've woken up yet, started to munch on your flaming hot Cheetos.
Do you want more beef jerky?
Oh, I thought you were sleeping.
Sorry.
No, I'm good. Just trying to watch the It's been kind of windy.
You've always been a good driver. Almost better than Barney.
Well, Barney did teach me.
That's right. You know, this is nice. Although it's a bit mysterious, it'll be nice to get away together. We haven't done that in a while.
Yeah. How's your writing been going?
Well, I don't know. My editor just feels like a cat constantly meowing at me for more pages.
Are you hitting your
The back of
deadlines?
my mind. Yeah. This new book, I might need to delay it. I've been staring at a blank Word doc for many a week.
Maybe I can help. We got a long drive.
True. But no talk about work. At least not mine. I want to hear about you. My healer. What
I'd
have you
rather
been
not
up
talk
to?
about work either. It's been a lot. After the pandemic, it's just... things haven't been the same.
That's difficult. I wish I could be around more, but you know how my work takes me everywhere, and you're always welcome to come, but I know that you're dedicated.
Yeah, I get that. I guess I've been meaning to talk to you about it for a while. I mean, I thought about it a lot. I mean, all the times that I did go with you when I was younger. When I do go with you, I don't really feel like I'm with you.
What do you mean? That's when we get to spend the most time together.
Not really. I sit in a fancy hotel and you sign books. Or I stand there and watch you sign books while you talk to other people. But I
Pressed
understand.
together.
I know this is the career path you wanted.
I take out my phone and start texting while talking. Thank you for telling me. If you don't want to come on my tours anymore, that's fine. I'll stop inviting you.
That's not what I meant, but sure.
I can make more of an effort to come back to your neck of the woods. We can do more things. We used to do so much.
A semi drives by, honking a bit as they nearly miss you.
Jeez. They always...
This highway, I know it's a highway, but can we please be civilized?
As you
I hate
say
to kill
that,
them.
Marie, you look at Carl, and the trees almost thin for a moment. And off in the distance, you can see faint twinkling lights. Very few of them. But you see a town. And as you look at it, the lights reflect off of what has to be the surface of water. Only in the night, it's black as obsidian. The snow trickles, and for a moment, it almost looks like a winter wonderland off in the distance as the trees sort of get thick again and obscure your vision.
Think of going Christmas light hunting.
Yeah, I don't know how busy this town will be. Looks kind of small on the map. We could definitely try, like we used to when Dad was around.
This time you can have some whiskey and the hot chocolate too.
Not gonna lie, I one time did try your thermos. it tasted disgusting.
Is that why the hot chocolate ended up all over the back seat?
Carl just makes a grin and kind of looks back out at the street.
As you do, sort of caught up in the nostalgia, your heart sort of warms a little bit, and you can see in front of you eyes staring back, bright yellow pupils, headlights directly in front of you.
Carl will slam on the brakes like he's not supposed to do, but he doesn't.
As you do, your tires catch into a thick patch of black ice, and your car begins to spin out of control. I'm going to need a drive auto roll from you, an extreme one.
Okay.
Oh.
Like, do I have that? I don't think I have a drive. Wait, what if I don't have a drive?
If you
Oh no, I
click
do.
it,
I do
it'll
have
use
drive auto. Ooh,
All right.
I am not very good at this.
Ooh.
Oh, but I succeed.
Despite hitting that patch of black ice, as you slam on the brakes,
16.
you manage to navigate the spin just enough to right yourself for a moment. You realize that you are facing in the opposite direction, and the car is still sliding back, but you've managed to straighten it enough that you won't be hit on either side as the back of the car slams into a tree, and both of you hit your heads.
Are you okay, Mom?
What was that?
We go to blackness. Marie, you're the first to gain consciousness. You can see the headlights are still on, and snow is sort of falling in front of them. Your head hurts, and as you pull back, you see a bit of blood. And you look over, and the airbags have deployed and sort of deflated. Carl isn't there.
Carl! Carl! And I'll
The
start
door is
calling for him.
open.
Carl! I'll try to get out of the car.
You do, and as you open the door, you hear glass sort of fall from the door.
Carl! Carl, where are you? And
No
I'll
reply.
search. Is there footprints near their side of the car?
As you look, the interior light sort of shines this spotlight out into the snow, and you can see boot tracks that sort of lead off into the woods, as well as a significant trail of blood.
Oh my god. I'll reach into the car and push the hazard lights button on and like honk. I'll lean on the horn for 30 seconds before I follow the blood trail.
As you let go of the horn, you can still hear it echo out into the distance through the woods. You notice that your phone that you had grabbed is on the floor in the passenger side.
I'll reach down for it.
It's cracked, but still seems to work.
Thank God. I'll call for help.
It works, but you don't seem to be getting a signal here.
Fuck. Carl!
No reply.
And I'll keep it open, and I'll just keep checking it as I continue to follow the path.
All right. Are you using the flashlight?
Yeah, if it's too dark as I get further away from the car, yeah.
The moment you break the threshold into the woods, all light is consumed. But using the flashlight, you can create just enough of a circle in front of you, and you manage to follow the boot prints through the snow. Every so often, you see a bit of blood up against a tree, and
My
it goes.
baby. My baby, where's my
deep.
baby? Carl!
Hurry. You hear a voice off in the distance.
Carl, it's me. Come, follow my voice. Are you okay?
I think we crashed.
It wasn't your fault. There was something in the road.
And as you follow the voice, you stop as you hear cracks underneath your feet. And you turn your light down and you realize that you're standing on the edge of a lake. And you can see blood trail off towards you and ahead of you.
We're on a frozen lake. I don't know how far out I can get to you.
As you turn the flashlight up, you can see that the lake expands, and just on the edge of the light, you can see a silhouette standing still in the middle of the lake.
Carl, we shouldn't be standing. Get on your hands and knees. Spread out your weight.
No reply.
I'll try and see if I can get further out, closer to my kid.
As you do, each step you take, the ice threatens to crack, but seems to hold as you get inch by inch closer to the silhouette. Something's wrong.
Voice sound familiar?
It does. And it doesn't sound like Carl.
Who are you? Are you okay? You're bleeding. Have you seen a bit taller than me, short hair, a pale, long nose? He's hurt. We were in a car accident.
Maria, I can't see. Something wrong, baby.
What?
Did we crash? That hurts.
I approach the figure.
As you do, the ice wheels underneath you. And you look up, and the silhouette's clearer now. You see... Well, Margaret, what do we see?
All right. Are they still looking young the way they did before, or is it like a...
They look as they did in the end.
Oh. You see a gentleman who looks kind of almost like he's about 5'10". You recognize him right away with his like long black hair tied in a ponytail, but now it's got like a bunch of balding spots from the therapy. And his skin is much paler. It used to be like this nice tan, is now like this almost pale. And they look like they lost a lot of body mass. They used to be like well built, and now they're fragile. And they're like kind of crawling on the ground.
And its figure looks at you. Are we all right?
No. We're not all right. I can't find Carl.
And as you shine the light on this figure, you can make out blood coming out of every orifice on their face.
I fall backwards.
As you do, the ice around you cracks and splinters as water is exposed. And the figure sort of like limps a bit forward. Where's Carl?
No, know. There was an accident. I
Where are we?
Lake. Why are you here?
And as you say that, the figure almost like gains this moment of rigidness as their face looks directly at you. And then their body crumbles and falls to the ground in a distorted manner. There's a sickening thud as their mass hits the ice. And there's just a pile of a man in front of you.
I'm gonna I have to leave and find the right blood trail to find my kid. I'll
And you turn
crawl across the ice.
You begin to crawl, avoiding the sections of ice that have opened. And as you slowly, again, inch by inch, you hear a wet slap of meat against the ice behind you.
Faster.
Every movement that you make, it seems to be echoing behind you. Marie, don't leave me.
I don't look back. I just keep going forward.
Give me a dex roll.
Hard success.
28 out of 70.
Out of 70.
Oof. Oh yeah, make sure you read
Despite-
your rolls for the people who are only listening to MP3 version.
Mm.
Despite the ice and its insistence to drag you under, every movement you make is precise, finding just the spot that will crack but not slip you in. As you make your way back to shore, you can hear the echoing calls. Marie, don't leave me.
I'm not leaving you. I just have to find him.
Look at me, Marie. I know that no, this isn't how you want to see me, but you have to look at me.
I try not to look.
Give me a power roll.
Oh,
These rolls.
I'm rolling well. 20.
You
175. Oof.
you are a horror novelist. And the biggest mistake that a protagonist can make in this situation is to look back. So you pull together your muster and stare forward back into those woods. And as you do you head back in?
I look as I hit the tree line. I feel the safety of the trees, and I look back. I choose to look back.
As you look back, you see a twisted man. His face is rigid and held a foot above the ice, but it is followed by a spiral of meat, corkscrewed body that has twisted and distorted the length of his frame. And as you look back, it begins to twist and corkscrew towards you, each hand flopping against the ice as it moves forward, faster and faster, until it gets up to you and your faces meet and its eyes open and light shines out of them into your face. Marie, 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 Mom, Mom. And Carl, you finally notice consciousness come to your mother's eyes as you shine a light in them.
Yeah, I have
Marie,
the phone up and I'm just like flashing the flashlight in my mom's face and trying to like hold one of her eyes up. I'm like, Mom,
You come
Mom.
to Marie.
You're all right. Oh, thank God you're all right.
Are you all right?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Carl,
I like
check to
hold
see
you.
that she hasn't hit her head or anything like that.
Give me a
I'm a doctor. I do the doctor things.
give
My
me
little
a
healer.
give me a
Okay.
medicine.
All right, medicine. Here we go. What? Okay, I thought I was better at this, but apparently not.
Oh,
You
damn.
can adjust after.
Oh, it was
if
because
it
I'm a
doesn't look like-
doctor, but I'm not a good doctor. I'm doing it because I want to be
Oh.
like my dad. I forgot it's been a while since we made these characters. 50
As
out of
you-
26.
As you mimic the motions of checking for signs of concussion or contusions, it's the contrast between the dark and the light makes it hard for you to conclude anything, and you're pretty sure you might also have a minor concussion. The one thing that you do know is that it could have been much worse had you hit on the side or on the front of the car, and that if you do have a concussion, and if your mom does have a concussion, it might not be that bad.
I think we're gonna be okay. Just try to stay awake. Okay? Okay? We both need to stay awake.
Where am I? Where am I?
You're sitting with your legs outside of the car in the passenger seat. Carl is sort of standing close to the road with the light shining in your eye.
Where I stop shining in her eye once she's opens them and seems conscious, and I just kind of use it to like make sure we can kind of see around us, and I'm just like, we're on the side of the road. I think we're gonna be okay. I don't know if the car is gonna start back up though.
Do you have a signal? I didn't have a signal, and then I'm like, my hands are empty.
What? Do I have a signal?
Nope.
No, that was the first thing I checked. Obviously, besides checking to make sure you're okay. We can wait
Sorry,
for somebody.
Shit,
Or-
Mom.
You're fine.
You almost
If this is
died.
about what I said before, I'm sorry. I thought it was the right time. Maybe it wasn't the right time to bring it up.
No, it's fine. I want to be with you, and I want you to be with me when we're traveling the world. But I'll make more of an effort to be home more.
And we pull back. The time is 9:15 p.m. Laura, please describe the car that you would be driving.
Laura drives, it's a pre-owned. It's not brand new, but it's a pre-owned base model Subaru Solterra electric car in galactic black. And she keeps it clean. There's like nothing, no stacks of anything. It is as nice as you can keep a car and still use it.
So when you find yourself at the gas station, I'm assuming that you take the time to wipe down your windshields with the squeegee.
Well, I gotta be doing something too. So she's definitely like doing that while the car is filling up.
It's a bit annoying because you can't see the windshield too well. It seems that the light above you is burnt out. But with enough effort, you manage to fill the car up and clean it up as best as you would. And you head back down the road. What's playing on that old sound system.
I believe that she has Bluetooth set up, so she found on Spotify an Annie Lennox playlist and is listening to Annie Lennox's greatest hits. And just kind of any of the Eurythmics, any of that, just kind of like getting lost in those songs that she used to secretly love when she was younger, but it was not cool to like, but it's okay for her to like now.
Mm-hmm. The drive is isolating. It is pitch black. The only thing that you can see is the road ahead of you, and the music is your only companion for this drive. But according to the GPS that has still worked up until this point, you are getting pretty close to Lake Morana. You are on the southern side, and as you make your way across the road, or along the road, it will begin to curve north until you actually make it to Lake Morana town proper, which is about on the northeast side of this lake. And after a bit of time, you get a momentary glimpse of this somewhat idyllic twinkling town mirrored against the black lake, and as quickly as it appears, it is gone. And you look out to the road and you see two red blinking lights.
When I see the blinking lights, is it like someone's signaling, someone's braking quickly and like kind of they're flickering, or?
It appears to be hazards.
There's no other cars on the road. I just see these two lights.
You've occasionally passed semis and the few straggler, but this is the first stopped car that you've seen.
At first, I can't tell if it's, just brake lights, but as soon as I notice they're hazards, I slow the car down and down to a crawl pace so that I can take like a survey of the situation. Laura's seen enough true crime that she's very cautious in these situations. So the windows are rolled up, but like I get to a point where I'm still like, I'm moving as slow as possible, but I'm still moving. So if I need to gun it, I can.
Question, would Carl and Marie keep the interior lights on while they pulled up in the car waiting?
If it's really cold, we would have to keep the car on for like heat.
Yeah, Carl would try to keep the car on if we can. It's just not starting, right? Or it's not like moving, but it's...
Yeah, the battery turns on, so the heat still works. But Tesla, you flick a Tesla and the engine stops working. The fact that you weren't locked inside and caught on fire is a miracle. But would you keep the overhead light on?
Yeah, sure. Just give us like a little light while we're in there.
So as you sort of crawl up, Laura, you see the interior of this car and two shapes inside, which as you get closer, you see the unmistakable hair of Marie.
As soon as I see that it's Marie, I take a moment to just sit with the moment that I am seeing someone I have not seen in a long time. And there's an anxiety that builds up in my chest of Marie's here. And I realize that maybe there is trouble. And so there's a part of me that pulls, I want to drive as fast as I can away from this. And then there's a part of me that goes, they might need help. And so I'm going to, my throat gets dry and like I try to swallow and I feel like a lump in my throat and I just slowly pull over and park the car. And almost like I'm fighting myself and walking through quicksand, I go to get out of the car.
You see possibly help. Neither of you really recognize the person that steps out of the car, but somebody seems to be here.
Oh, thank God. Hello.
I'll check Who it is, Mom? Just stay awake.
Marie?
I open the door and swing it open and go, we kind of hit a tree and can't get this car to start.
I take like a few steps towards Carl.
Carl
You look-
takes a
you look just like
little
him.
step back.
Marie,
Yes.
That's my mom. Mom, I think she knows you.
yeah, I know your mom. I know your dad too.
Oh,
Marie, do you need help? I like bend over and I look in the car.
we're okay.
It's Laura. Laura, do you remember me?
Of course. Thank you. Check Carl first. We definitely need help. We're stranded here, that's for sure. Do you have signal?
I look at my phone. Do I have a signal?
Nope.
We
We're
could,
in the middle of nowhere. It doesn't seem like we're gonna get signal here.
we could use a ride into town.
What happened?
I saw something in the street. And it was like, I thought there was a car, so I hit the brakes and we hit a tree. It could have been worse,
Marie.
I think. I'm worried my mom might have a concussion.
I'll give you guys a ride. And I just can't stop looking at Carl because their face looks so much, I would imagine, like their father's.
They just have the
And it's
hair
kinda like-
of, like they have the
And it's
hair
like
and nose
seeing a
of-
ghost. Yeah. And I just kind of, it's almost like I'm shell shocked. I got plenty of room. What are you doing here?
Carl will just go to grab the luggage and let his mom handle all communication efforts from this point forward.
Carl got a call from a mysterious Liam.
I got a call from a mysterious Liam.
I figured
Marie.
you did.
Benjamin died?
I don't know what happened to Benjamin. But we'll definitely find out when we get to this. I don't even know what we're staying in. A cabin? Hotel, I hope.
You can tell that Laura's very anxious. Like, just from an outward perspective, just kind of fumbling with the phone and just kind of like nervously looking around. Kind of like she feels like she's a little bit back when she was younger. Like old habits die hard. Yeah, I got plenty of room in the car. I didn't expect it's just a weird coincidence, but apparently maybe it's not if we both got phone calls.
Closer than I was, than Andy and I were to
No,
Benjamin.
I know.
I don't know what's going on.
Well, did you call AAA or roadside assistance?
We have no signal, Laura.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Well, I guess
I'm just gonna sit here doing nothing.
Another semi drives by.
well then
Carl
let's get,
now has a backpack with his stuff and then like 4 luggage, roller luggage bags, I'm assuming, for Marie, but you can tell me how many it is. But I just imagine she just has like tons of bags.
Perfect.
I go to help Carl and grab one of the bags, and then my car's not fancy enough to have one of those like button push like lifts. So I go over and I'm like trying to awkwardly open the
Carl will help
hatchback.
as much as they can.
What's your name?
Carl? I'm Carl.
Carl.
You're Laura?
I'm Laura. I went to college with your mom.
Right.
I went to college with your dad too.
Figured.
That's nice of you to come with her.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna let her go to some creepy town without me.
look at me. I'm doing it. All right, let's get you guys settled. And I just kind of grabbed the bags and stacked them very neatly in the back.
Carl will just try to help.
Thank you so much. And I just like go to sit in the passenger seat of the car.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I almost didn't stop. You know, I've seen enough Dateline to know you shouldn't stop for strangers on the road, but...
Thank you for stopping.
Yeah. So, you got a phone call?
Yeah, from Liam Thorne.
That's... You don't know Liam, do you?
No. I don't know. I think he thought I was my dad.
I feel a little bit, like I'm losing my mind. I got a call in the middle of the night and then I got in my car and I'm like, yeah, let's go do this. Let's see what's this is about.
It is a little weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, fill me in. I start to get the car and drive. Wait, what have you been up to well, I know that you write a lot of books now.
I'm assuming that you start driving as well.
Mm-hmm. Heading to town.
As you get back on the road.
And Carl locked the doors and everything for the car as much as possible. But
second most important thing in my life is my writing. Carl here, of course, number one.
That's amazing. I mean, it's wild seeing you with a kid.
He's a doctor now.
Wow. How was that? How was school for that?
Graduated top of their class.
no, I wasn't top my class.
No, you basically were.
I
Well,
wasn't.
That's a lot of work. You should be proud of that.
Thanks. Just want to help people.
Where do you all live now?
Here, there, everywhere, really.
That's not I know you're always flowery with your words. Do you have a place that you stay most of the time? I'm in Seattle now.
I stayed in Vancouver. Can always call it home, but I really do spend most of my time on planes nowadays. Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah, when
That
she
was a
says
good movie.
here and there, it really is here and there.
You can see that I'm trying, like Laura's trying to edit herself because like I've followed a lot of what you guys do on social media. So like trying to be like, don't ask anything that's going to tip them off. And so trying to act surprised with answers to things and just nervously looking over and trying to like settle back into like, okay, something changed, but it's okay. And we're moving forward. Where are you staying in town?
Where are we staying, Carl?
Do I have like the name of the place that we're staying in? Like,
Nope.
okay.
You got
What did
you got a message, the general laydown or lowdown of how to get here. You were told to find a place called Tilly's Inn.
Okay.
And that's sort of that's where Liam said that he would meet you.
We're looking for Tilly's Inn.
That's what he told me too.
Yeah, apparently that's where we're meeting.
You know what was weird? He called me in the middle of the night.
Yeah, it called me in the middle of the night too.
I was up. I don't know.
I was trying to sleep.
He
Yeah.
didn't even bother to call me. Rude.
Out of character. I didn't go to Andy's funeral. Did I?
I think we agreed that you didn't.
Okay.
And that's why none of the others recognized you immediately.
So would I technically know that? I mean, I know,
I see what you're
but
saying.
would And so Laura's mulling it over whether or not she wants to let on that she knows that Andy died. Just because I keep tabs on school stuff, I don't know, maybe yearning for yesteryear. I'm sorry to hear about Andy.
Thank you.
Carl will just look out the window at the mention of his dad's name.
So when I saw you first, Carl, it was kind of like seeing Andy again. It was a bit, I don't know. This all just feels very strange.
Sorry.
No, not you, just the whole running into you. I still don't know why we're both here.
The information that Carl also said was quite odd in that it wasn't an official will.
No,
I didn't say that part. I didn't know that.
I don't know why I don't know why. I don't even know why I decided to come.
Did
You were
Barney
all
find
told-
anything when I asked him to look him up?
He found the admission records of a Benjamin Thorne to UBC many years ago, but wasn't able to track anything concrete. There were a few remote companies that used aliases, but had loose connections to possibly Benjamin Thorne. But it could have been other Thorns. Liam has no internet presence.
And who's entirely off the grid? I mean, it's worse than Andy ever was with this. This Liam. I couldn't find him anywhere. My assistant couldn't find him.
A lot of people don't want to be all over the internet.
It's your brand to be on the internet. It's how you survive, how you succeed.
You got to admit, though, do you do your own social media?
Oh no. I have a team do that for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you do your own social media, then we'll talk. Have you heard from anybody else? Have you kept in touch with anybody?
I mean, I would say the person I've kept the most in touch with would be you, Laura.
So, nobody?
I mean, once Andy died, I just threw myself into my work.
I glance over at Marie. How does she look? Really look?
I mean, she's injured AF right now.
But when you can look at somebody's face if you've known them for at least a little bit of time in their life, and you can look at their eyes and you can see.
She's hollow compared to the Marie that you used to know. She's also you don't even recognize this almost facade of a performance that she puts on with how she speaks, both in her words and tone. She's totally fake. Everything about her is super calculated right now.
And that immediately puts Laura's guard up. Just already feeling that, and also having Carl in the car, it's kind of I can't speak freely in the ways that maybe I would had it just been Marie and I.
And you can tell that Carl is very uncomfortable and awkward, in their mannerisms.
Yeah, I look from Marie and then I look in my rear view and kind of meet your eyes for a second. Or if you're looking up or looking down, I just kind of intake your presence as well and can sense the discomfort. So what kind of music do you two listen to nowadays?
I don't even answer that question.
I'll take that. It's The time is 9:52 p.m. We see that same gas station, the broken light. And Nate, I know you said what car you drive, but please once more remind us as your car comes into the gas station.
Yes. Nate drives a 2014 hatchback Subaru Impreza. At one point it was probably silver, but it is well, kind of a mottled color at this point. Quite a lot. There's probably been a lot of like salt damage, and just a lot of like exposed rust, and parts around like the wheel, parts around like the wheels have been sort of eaten away. He is, I think, hurriedly driving because he realizes he's running kind of late. He's hoping to get there in time for the reading of the will, as he assumes, and he's just stopped over for some gas. He's right now wearing more his normal outfit, which kind of looks like he started to get dressed and gave up halfway through. He's wearing a baseball cap that it is actually a UBC Thunderbirds baseball cap. He is absolutely wearing socks with sandals, even in the winter, and he is just and he still has his whistle on. I think it's such a natural thing that he puts on these days. It didn't even occur to him that he's not going to a practice. So he's pulled over for some gas, and with his classic expression, which is sort of like his face looks like a closed fist. He's gotten out to pump some gas.
I have a question about the Subaru hatchback Impreza. Does it have a digital thermostat anywhere?
It's 2014 and was probably not top of the line in 2014, so I'm going to say no.
All right. Then you don't notice the temperature until you step out of the car, and immediately your exposed calves tighten from the blistering wind that licks against them. And standing in this shaded area of the gas station, you look in and you can see one attendant minding their own business behind the counter. And you notice that the snow has started to pick up quite a bit. There is also a display, almost like those lottery displays for numbers, but it shows the temperature, and it is minus 15. Now, for those Americans out there, minus 15 Celsius is 5 degrees Fahrenheit, if that helps you.
It's cold.
Very cold. Yeah, very cold. Not
You
the
do have a
coldest
lot
I've
of
ever
meat.
experienced, but it's rough.
Yeah.
I'm-
You do have a lot of meat, though, so I think that, you can keep it a bit tight. Another question. By what means is Nate navigating?
Nate went to maps.com and printed out some maps on the school's computer. He used to use MapQuest. He switched to maps.com. So these days he has paper maps in his car that he is like taped to the dashboard.
Would you kindly give me an intelligence roll?
Okay. All right. What is my intelligence? All right, 50. Let's see how this goes. That is an 87
87
versus
out of
50.
Ooh.
Because normally, these rolls would be good. These high numbers we'd be rolling.
Yeah, that is a complete failure. A complete and utter failure.
So lucky for you, getting to this point has mostly been the one road. You started in Edmonton, picked a road, and kind of just went forward for a while. But you realize now, looking at the map, that there are a few exits. And you've also noticed that previously, some of those exits haven't been labeled correctly. It's kind of that stretch of highway where really they did their best job to pave through the woods, and if cars manage to make it through, it's a miracle. But occasionally there are loosely paved roads that cut off, fully dirt roads that pave off, and people have built houses there and sort of just asked the trees nicely to part so that they may drive their cars through. And as you sit there pumping the gas, sort of eyeing the map through the window, you start to think that maybe you don't know where to go.
I look up and see the attendant, and I'm still shivering in the cold. I had to turn off my car, so I know it's losing heat. I'm gonna close the car door and run inside with the maps. I'm gonna grab the maps and run inside to ask the attendant.
As you enter, you see a very like lumberjack of a woman standing behind the counter, which you immediately think that she is like incredibly built, but realize that she's actually wearing several layers. She has clearly a jacket, and then almost like a company uniform over top of the jacket, so that a hoodie sort of pops up over top, and is wearing those gloves that you can fold the finger parts open so that you have access to your digits. And even stepping into this snack area, there is no reprieve from the cold. There is a small sputtering heater in the corner that's glowing and trying its best, but it's not doing a lot of work. And there's a selection of snacks. And as you enter, she says, "Oh, you're a little underdressed there."
Yeah, I'm a coach, so usually indoors, or I used to play hockey, so kind of used to the cold, but it does usually get this bad, when I'm outside at least.
Yeah, you're definitely well, I mean, best of luck to you, but what can I do for you?
I was hoping. Sorry, I got distracted by the snacks. I was hoping. I'm driving to a place called Lake Morana, and I was hoping that you might be able to. I have the maps here. I printed them out from the Google's Maps, and I was hoping that you could. I think I may have maybe going the wrong way, or some of the exits I noticed weren't really marked quite right. So I was hoping maybe you could take a look and let me know which way I'm going. While you're looking at that, I'm just gonna grab some snacks.
She kind of like doesn't respond for a while and like looks at your map. And when you come back, she's like barely moved. All right, well, that'll be 15.25 plus 40 for the gas. You're here, and she kind of like pulls out a Sharpie. You're here. Edmonton is back here. If you're going to Lake Morana, as you said, you're going to want to head to Edmonton and stay there.
Oh, did I go too far?
No, you got too close.
Too close to what?
Listen, sir, I don't know what you're I don't know why you've been told to go there or why you think that you should be going there, but I would recommend that you don't.
No, I don't think you understand. I got a call from I take out my little notes. I got a call from Liam Thorne about his father, Benjamin Thorne, just died recently. And there's a will that's going to be read out in Lake Morana, and I think I stand to inherit between you and me a little bit of cash. So it's very important, very, very important that I get to Lake Morana by tomorrow.
Listen, that place, it's got a history, especially someone who's going there for greed. But tell you what, I'll show you how to get to Lake Morana. But if you come back asking for help, I won't be here.
You said, I'm sorry, I'm a little turned around. So what's so bad about this place?
She's
wrong?
already like marking on your map with a slow, agonizing screech with the Sharpie towards Lake Morana.
I start to, I think there's a moment of panic, because I think Nate's kind of ruled by fear to an extent, and Nate is gonna reach out and like put his hand on her hand to try and stop her from moving, because I think even that sound and how slow she's going, it feels like a decision is being made, and Nate didn't realize that he was making it, so he'd like to try and stop her for a moment. And so,
she kind of like whips back a bit, and you realize that moment that you're always worried about, of the just amount of destruction that you could do, and a swift moment or a swift action to grab her hand, sort of like she pulls back and like,
I'm sorry. I just, what do you know about Lake Morana? What can you tell me?
people who go there don't come back. The people who are there have been there for a while. Now I've marked where it is. You get the fuck out of my shop and you go get your money.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry to have troubled you. Thank you for your help. I scoop up the snacks and my map, which I fold up carefully, and I look at her and I say, if I go to Edmonton, is it too late?
It's up to you.
I hurry out of the shop, back into my car. I sit there. I haven't even turned the car on yet. I put the key in the ignition and I sit there and I look at the map and I look at Edmonton and I look at Lake Morana, and it's like a long moment, and I don't even think I don't even know if my eyes move. It's almost just staring at the map. And then I think, without his expression really even changing, he turns on the car, puts it in gear.
Live Peel here again with KTAW, The Shape. And I just want to remind everyone out there to have a safe night. The roads are probably going to be cut off pretty soon. This weather, I swear, the fact that our signals can even get through those massive snow droplets is beyond me. But, well, you can still hear us in your ears. We'll be bringing you the best from the 80s, 90s, aughts, and now. As some Metallica starts to play on the radio.
I think there's a moment where he feels like that jars him out of his reverie, and and he thinks to himself, I came here, I don't even have clothes that are warm enough for this weather, in part because I literally can't, like, I can't really afford them. I need this money. I need something like this could be it. This could help me turn it around finally. And I take a deep breath and I think, okay, if I drive fast, if I drive hard, I can make it. And I rocket off towards Lake Morana as fast as my 2014 Subaru will carry me.
And as you pass the threshold of the gas station, that one singular light flickers back on. Marie, Laura, and Carl. The road has ceased to be paved. It is now, at best, cobblestone. But this is clearly a community-maintained road. As you slowly make your way towards what you know to be Lake Morana, you notice small isolated homes here and there along the road, only catching a glimpse of their silhouette as the headlight flashes through the woods.
Do any
Everybody
of them still
seems
have Christmas lights on?
no, they are all dark. Nobody even seems to be awake at this time. The time being 10:25 p.m. But despite that, continue down the road. And as the trees begin to thin a bit, you can see to your left the occasional view of the lake and the small stars of the town reflecting off of it as you see it in front of you. It is sprawling is a word, but only in the sense that each building is fairly separated. The road that you are on seems to curve into town, sort of around the lake itself. You see now what appears to be a small peninsula that juts off into the lake itself that holds a very large wooden building. The lights seem to just be emergency lights on at this point. Occasionally you can see a more residential home sort of built along the roads. Occasionally people are awake, and here and there you see a festive light hanging from either the edge of the roof or through the window itself. It is definitely not a metropolis, nor is it a town, really. It's almost a community in its size, but you keep going. You pass what looks to be a small police station, a general goods store, and what passes as the town square, which almost seems like it had bloomed from a much earlier colonial time and has barely evolved as it has grown over the years. And in the square, almost as a pillar of the other houses and other buildings, is a large building with the sign Tilly's Inn. This one seems to have life.
I mean, talk about small town.
Doesn't
Is
it
this-
feel like a town?
It's got like early 1600 vibes.
Hmm.
Well, looks like that's the inn we need to go to.
You haven't been here before, Laura?
No, he asked me on the phone if I had heard of this place, and I lied.
I thought he was talking about a different lake, one that me and my dad went to before.
I tried looking some stuff up on it, and I just got sidetracked. I don't know. I just like look around and it just feels unsettling because, you know, Laura grew up in a very small town, and she likes the bustle of noise and people moving and lights, and it's just dark. And you said there's just like little drapings of lights, of Christmas lights. It's not even like, you know, a full, like someone doesn't have reindeer in the front yard or like neatly strung anything.
Interestingly enough, there are decorations. The Christmas lights seem to be Spartan throughout the community, but there are like hand quilted or hand woven, almost like figurines that are put up at almost like reefs on the doors. The main square is almost decorated with like more like harvest festival kind of vibe to it.
Okay.
I think Carl has like a different vibe. Like Laura's anxious because there's not a lot of people here. Carl actually likes that there's not a lot of people, but doesn't want to be alone. So it's like finding the balance of like not being around people, but also not being alone.
You said like handmade wreaths.
Yeah, not like sketchy in the
Okay.
middle of the woods one, like kind of beautifully woven.
Not Blair Witch vibes.
No.
That blew up with what
Yeah.
the fuck is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Dead
No, I-
skulls.
Yeah.
It's got more of like a, I think Craft Fair Harvest Festival is
Okay.
more the general vibe.
Like little gingerbread made out of like weird felt and stuff like that.
Well, I would, as I'm taking this in, park the car in front of the Tilly's Inn.
It has a surprisingly large parking spot.
Are there
It
a lot
is-
of other cars?
There's a couple. They are all much like older, like early aughts to like 2010s. And the parking spot is like fully gravel. When you drive into it, you get that satisfying crunch of the tires on the gravel. There's no dividers indicating where the cars should park, and you can kind of just claim a space.
I park as close to the front as we can, and I have a realization like, oh yeah, they were in a car accident. And then also notating, as I put the car into park, like, Marie didn't ask me anything about myself. And then trying to be like, but they were just in a car accident. And so I look over at Marie and I look in the back rear view at Carl. Should we go in?
I'll
I
check
guess.
us in if you get the bags. And I walk up the front steps.
Do you two need a hospital?
I think we're gonna be okay. Carl says.
My kid's a healer.
I'm-
The front of the facade of Tilly's Inn is almost, the best I can explain it is, those buildings that were once like a Denny's or a Pizza Hut that has been hollowed out and stripped of its branding and then reapplied as something else.
okay.
It looks like that, but it was built with that as the intent.
Oh.
And you do see light. You see like a not even a dim, like a functional business light on the inside. And as you enter, the early spots of this building are nearly liminal. It has those sort of like gross linoleum plastic tables and chairs. There's a counter that has like a window for like displays of sandwiches and stuff, but it is completely empty. And you realize that there's not even a till here. It's this first maybe 25 feet into this building is just this nearly abandoned old diner aesthetic. But as you look back, you see this warm glow as like a tooth. It cuts in much further, as if this building was grafted onto another. The rest of the inn is hand-carved wood, polished with wood beams supporting the top. The floor is a nice sort of mosaic of concrete broken slabs that has sort of been reformed to create this nice aesthetic. There are stairs that go up, and then a table that sort of overlooks a wooden balcony. And it is this strange dissonance of this modern, lacking in any sort of style, that has been attached to this beautiful old handmade inn. It is more of a bar. You do see a balcony that sort of goes around the top floor, but as you look in, you see more tables and more chairs and more pillars sort of separating them, creating this very cozy bar aesthetic. And there's a large, again, hand-carved wooden bar in the far corner with glass displays of all types of liquor that you could ever imagine. But it is fairly empty. You see a couple people off in the corner, just sort of hunched, facing each other in a shadowy area, chatting quietly. But you see sitting at the bar on a stool facing out into the dining area is an old woman, probably in her 70s, shoulder-length gray hair, with a very kind, welcoming face. Almost pictured Elise from Insidious. And she's reading a softcover book that has well been loved.
Do we recognize the book? I mean, my mother and I
you will have
read
to-
many books.
You would have to get closer. You're sort of standing in that like liminal entrance.
Okay, no.
I'm gonna look over at Marie, like, because Marie said, I'll check us in. So, you know, I'm just kind of probably standing there with bags. Like, are you gonna check us in?
Yeah, I head to the desk. Is there nobody standing there though?
So the there's not even really like a check-in desk or anything like that. It
I
seems
go
that
to the
most
bar.
of the business is done at the bar.
Yeah.
And as you approach, unmistakably you see the cover of one of your first books. Creases upon creases as this book has been folded over countless times.
But it doesn't. This woman isn't a staff member.
Unclear.
She's like on
She's
the side of the bar, right?
she's on the drinking side of the bar, sort of
Yeah.
facing towards the dining area, and she's just seems to be reading.
I give her a respectable amount of distance and kind of like position myself angled away from her as I call out, I'm here to check in. Hello?
Oh, you're gonna want to talk to the owner about that.
Yes. And I turn to her. Do you know where I can find them?
She licks her finger and grabs the edge of one of the pages and folds it over, and you can see, looking at it, that nearly every page has been dog-eared throughout the years. And she closes it and puts it on the counter, and it barely stays closed. And she looks up at you and she says, Mary Anders. Well, I didn't think I would ever live to see the day. My name's Matilda. Tilly.
Meet you. I see I've clearly found the person I was looking for.
Yes, you have.
You
And
don't
who's
find that too derivative? And I shoot a look at my first book.
Listen, once you get up in years, you don't really want to think too much. It's more comforting to know the ending by the time you start it.
Well, I'd like 2 rooms if possible. One for me and my kid and another for this young woman.
So that must be Carl and Laura then, right?
Are you expecting us?
Yes. Liam told me all about you.
Are other people coming?
Yeah, there's supposed to be one other. I assume he's not with you.
Also, while we're at it, can I have, please, double whiskey on the rocks.
Of course. And she sort of like gets up and like stretches and sort of slowly walks around the bar, lifting up the entrance, gets behind. And the moment she like starts pouring your drink, you see this immediate dexterity of just years of repetition and learned movements. So she just like grabs the whiskey bottle between her two fingers and like pours it, holding the back over her shoulder. And then scoops up a bit of ice and pours it into the glass and slides it over. Anything for you two?
I'm good.
Do you have kombucha?
Kind of turns and looks back and looks at the regular area and then sort of looks up and you see just like a kind of dustier bottle of kombucha. You'll have to grab it. It's a bit too high up for me.
Oh, I'll set down the bags and walk over, and Laura is fairly tall, so we'll reach up and grab this suspect-looking kombucha.
There's something strange. As she requests that, you almost get this feeling of immediate trust from her. She makes no mention of you going behind the bar, and when you grab it, it's almost like grabbing a bottle from a friend's house.
I would immediately feel kind of a sense of comfort, just like when you're out in the real world and you find those like small moments that feel safe or feel good, and just kind of savor that. And I want to look at the bottle and just see if there's anything special about it.
Just seems like nobody here drinks kombucha.
And I'll just gingerly place it down on the counter and kind of make my way back around to the patron side.
She quickly pours you drink and slides it over. So for the first night, Liam has covered everything. Your rooms have already been made up upstairs. We have some more guests coming in, so tomorrow's actually been booked up. But Liam said that there might be some places that you can stay. I think he found some accommodations.
Like an Airbnb?
A what? Like a bed and breakfast?
Yeah, I mean, you know how stuff changes all the time. I try to keep up with it. Like someone lists their home and you can rent it from them.
No, I think just a couple people from the community offered their homes up for you.
Oh, they'd stay with strangers.
They would stay with friends of theirs.
You could see it sends an immediate like discomfort with with this situation. So I can't stay here in a room
Those
here.
are booked up. Sorry, you must be tired from the road. Drink up, and I think Liam's supposed to be here soon.
I'm gonna like get on my. Do we have a signal now that we're in the town?
You check your phone, and you see that cycle of it trying to connect to a single signal, and you see a bar pop up and then go away. But you do see
I think
Wi-Fi.
Carl's like holding their phone up in the air, like trying to get it to work.
You see lists of Wi-Fi on your phone.
Carl just say to the ma'am, do you have a Wi-Fi password?
Yeah, of course. Sometimes forget we have that, and sort of slides like this plastic triangle with the Wi-Fi password on it.
Carl will try to connect to it.
Same. I'm like leaning over and entering the password in as well, and trying to Google Holiday Inn Expresses nearby.
While you wait, you can take a seat. Mary, I'll let you rest tonight, but I'm gonna need to talk to you about some of the choices in your newer books. Sorry, I'm just a big fan.
Of course. I look forward to it.
And she sort of like goes back
You
to her work.
know, this was the inspiration for Jane. and I put my arm around my kid.
Carl just like slinks down, even though Carl's taller than their mother.
Carl, how deeply are you paying attention to this woman?
I don't think Carl was deeply to begin with, but now that they're put on the spotlight, Carl's looking at her.
You notice a familiar practice smile with a bit of pity as she looks at you and hears her mother say those words. But she immediately, practiced as a innkeeper, covers it back up and sort of gestures to one of the free tables as she begins to putt around a bit. As you take your tables and look for other hotels to stay at, the time is now 11:47 p.m. The wind has picked up quite a lot. The snow is not blinding, but it's getting there. And you're passing unfamiliar buildings, Nate. The silhouettes of carcasses of buildings hidden in the woods as your dim lights try to see anything. You start to get the feeling of no going back. You've hit the point of no return. The snow is coming, and it will be coming hard, and unless you keep going forward, there'll be no going back. There's a slight reprieve as you start to see light. You see some of the houses still awake. You see the town square as you pass the police station and the other smaller buildings along the way. And you see Tilly's Inn.
Is there a place to park?
You see cars. It's again a fairly large paved parking spot.
All right, I'm going to pull in, hurriedly grab my bags out of the back. I packed basically all of my stuff. So I have like all of my sports bags for the different sports and everything, and I'm just gonna run in with like a hockey stick and stuff sticking out, run into this place as hurriedly as I can through the snow in full on sandals and socks, and run into the inn.
Do you stop when another car enters the parking area?
As I'm running in, there's another. Did I see this car on the road?
No, it seems to be driving from deeper into town.
I'll take a quick glance as I'm hurrying in, just to see.
As the car stops, and you can hear the cracking or the crunching of the snow and cobblestone, it shuts off, and the door opens, and for a moment you see the overhead light. And your heart stops as you see an unmistakably familiar face of Benjamin Thorne. And that's where we're going to stop for tonight.
Yay. I hope this is similar to the vibe that Laura had when she thought Carl was Andy.
Just stare the whole time.
Yeah, just
We'll have to
staring
find out
at
next
Carl.
week.
Carl's like, why is this lady staring at me? Well, hope y'all had fun for episode 1. If you enjoyed what you saw here, there's some places where you can find us and support us. But first, we'd like to thank our wonderful sponsor today, Roll20. I'm like looking for the button. Roll20, thank you so much for sponsoring our show. If you're curious how we're doing like our dice roll stuff, where it shows like failure and what like our max is versus what we're trying to hit, that is all through Roll20. You can do a lot of things on Roll20, not just dice rolling games, which is pretty fun. We also have a ton of merch. If you want to check out our merch, you can head on over to designbyhumans.com/shop/Roll4It and get yourself some swag so you don't have to be cold like Nate, in the snow. And then we also have our Patreon. We want to thank our supporter today, Thunder Cabbage. Thank you so much for supporting today and for also just being amazing. We love you, Thunder. And if you would like to support a show like a Thunder Cabbage, you can head on over to our Patreon and support us there at a legend tier or above. And not only do you support an episode, but you also gain access to a private GM'd game, which is super fun. We have a whole bunch of other goodies though for varying different perks. So like right now we do have our character sheets up if you want to check out some of those deeds and maybe get some insider scoops on Andy, who we saw calling out to Marie creepily. But we have a whole bunch of stuff up there, and we're certainly going to have some more, maybe some polls from our keeper/game master. You might, fate might be in your hands. We shall see. Also, you can support us by subscribing on Twitch right here and get access to the VODs in advance as well as emotes. And you can clip. So thank you for the clips. We appreciate it. I'm sure there's a lot of like creepy moment clips that have been made. You can also become a YouTube member and get access to some of those emotes as well. And if you are a YouTube member, Twitch subscriber, or Patreon supporter, you get access to our private Discord where certain people are going to have some thoughts and maybe some theories. And we'll see if any of you are right. I'm sure Kelly's not going to dispose what is true and isn't. But the rest of us can share our thoughts too. And of course, there's lots of non-monetary ways to support us because we know not everybody can do that. But watching us live on Twitch, making clips, watching us on YouTube, subscribing, liking, commenting, and of course, following us on all the things like Twitter and Facebook, and liking, sharing, retweeting, commenting, all of those. That goes a long way to help support us and get the algorithms to find our lovely stories, or creepy stories in this case. And with that, I'm going to go around and let these wonderful people say where you can find them at, because not only are they awesome here on Project Morana, but they do lots of other great things on the internet. So we are going to kick it off first with Marie, played by the one and only Shar. Where can people find you at when you are not making other people carry your luggage for you?
Hey, today can't wait to get further into the story. You can find me at Charlene Bayer on all social media, and I'm the GM and a player over on Tabletop Titties, which is with double D's.
All right. Next up, we've got Nate, played by Jeremy. Where can people find you at when you are, oh my gosh, that scene was so amazing, when you are not living your best life and worst life at the same time? I don't know how else to explain that.
Thank you so much. Yes, you can find me on Twitter at Jeremy Cobb1. That's Cobb with 2 B's, the number 1. Also on Blue Sky under the same name. On Instagram at The Cobbmeister. I'm also on the podcast 3 Black Halflings, which you can find wherever pods are cast. Also, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, etc. at 3, that's the number 3 Black Halflings. And also the podcast, The Quantum Reactor. It's a sci-fi movie review podcast. And you can find us wherever pods are cast. And also on Twitter at QReactor Show.
All right, next up we got Play Katie Play, who is playing Laura. Where can people find you at when you are not trying to hide that you are stalking other people?
It's hard to not let people know you found out their whole lives on social media. I'm Katie Peters Plays. You can find me on Twitch under the same name. I do a lot of tabletop, and I've done a lot on Roll4It, so you can probably just search my name and Roll4It and find me on some shows. I'm on another show right now that is an Alien show from the Alien franchise. I play a scientist who's with some colonial marines over on the Wandering Inn on the Duakrama Outlook. So that's pretty exciting. Those episodes come out every Friday. And yeah, find me on Twitch. I play a lot of horror games, and I got 2 podcasts myself. I have one called Katie Hasn't Seen That and one called Quantum Drive about the Orville TV show if you want to listen to any of those. And yeah, I'm excited to see where the horror is going to take us in the next episode.
Also am. And last but not least, we have our keeper and game master, Kelly. Where can people find you at when you are not traumatizing us all?
I mean, most places that they can find me, I'm also trying to traumatize people. I'm the storyteller on Tabletop Titties, where we play Vampire the Masquerade, where I'm usually trying to traumatize the players. Shar and I also have a podcast called Drinking and Screaming. It is a movie and cocktail review podcast where we do a bunch of horror movies, young and old, where I'm also trying to, well, less traumatize, more de-traumatize people. And you can find me on most social medias as the Mind Right or Kelly Right. The big exodus away from the Bird app has really left me in a schism at this point. So if you're on Blue Sky, if you're on co-host, if you're on Insta, if you're on whatever, type in the Mind Right. And if that doesn't work, try Kelly Right. That's probably me. Also, I wanted to point out, I think I accidentally called Mary Anders or something. For the lore hunters, that was a mistake. I don't think that was a plot element. That was just Kelly fucking up.
Also, is it Marie or...
Marie.
Okay, Marie. He keeps calling you Mary.
Yeah.
It's very, I'm not sure. I'm like, I luckily just get to call you Mom, so that's easy.
Listen, names are hard, y'all.
Maybe Anders is their pen name.
Ooh, I like that too.
Regardless, I just wanted to, I could see the Discord blowing up about that.
All right. And of course, I'm Margaret Crone. You can find me at Margaret Crone in all of the places. I do lots of things on the internet, most of them tabletop RPG related. So if you're interested in that, I will let you know whenever those things go live. There's some stuff that I've been recording but has not gone live yet. So it'll be exciting when those things go live. And then, of course, I make games and video games for a living. I'm currently working on a project called Ashes of Creation, which you can find at Ashes of Creation in all the places. And with that, we are going to go record an after show. So if you want access to that, you must be a Patreon. But we will see you next week for another episode. Bye.
Bye.
Stay safe. Don't get in cars with strangers.